Ever wonder why some people get rich overnight, like lottery winners, and then lose it all? It's not just luck. Your mind needs time to match where you want to go. Let's start with something honest. If you've ever asked yourself, why am I not rich yet? You're not alone. A lot of people ask that same question. They work hard, they try to stay positive, they dream big, but the money still doesn't come. Here's what might surprise you. The problem isn't that you're doing it wrong, it's that you're not ready yet. Not in a bad way, not because you're not smart or not worthy, but because getting rich takes more than just money. It takes a new way of thinking, a new way of being. My name is Paul Bauer. This is Quantum Reality Awakening, and I'm a certified master life coach, NLP practitioner, and I've been studying the laws of the universe for nearly a decade now. And today, I want to help you understand something that most people never hear, something that could change your life if you really take it in. You see, wanting money is one thing, but the time that passes between wanting it and actually having it, that's not empty time. That's time for you to grow, to become the kind of person who can hold wealth gracefully and invite it in a way that lasts. You've probably heard of lottery winners who get rich overnight, then lose it within a few years. A lot of people think money changes them, but it's not money that changes them, it's their thinking, their habits, and their mindset. If your money changes faster than your thinking, it won't stay with you. So, yes, setting a goal is great, but being the person who can hold that wealth, that takes time. That's what Neville Goddard meant by the time between intention and arrival being the moment when you become the outcome. Now, Napoleon Hill used to say, set an exact date for when you'll reach your goal. That works if you're already lined up for it. But for most people, attaching to a date can bring stress and doubt if it doesn't show up by then. That doubt sends a message that says, maybe I can't have this. And your mind listens, even if you don't mean to send it. That's where the law of gestation comes in. A time needed for growth, just like the 9 months a baby needs in the womb. If a baby comes too soon, problems can happen. The same happens when you try to force wealth before your mindset is ready. So hold on to your faith. Keep your goals in view because right now you're in the process of becoming someone new, someone worthy of lasting wealth. And speaking of becoming, there's another big reason many people don't gain more money. They rely on trading time for money. That keeps them stuck. But real wealth happens when you build something once and sell it over and over. That's why people in the law of attraction world often write books or make courses that can be sold repeatedly. They build a path to many income streams, not just one job. If you've been raised to think time equals money, you might have a mindset that only lets you consider working hours in exchange for dollars. But there's more. Think about crypto, stocks, real estate, or creating digital products. These are ways of making money that don't end when your shift does. It starts with shifting how you think about money, from earning it to being available to receive it over and over without trading your time forever. But that's just the beginning. In the next part, we'll explore exactly how to develop that wealth mindset, how you truly grow into that version of yourself while you're waiting for what you want to arrive. Let's keep going. You want to be rich. You've pictured it. You've asked for it. You've done your best to stay positive and focused. But here's something not many people tell you. Just wanting more money doesn't bring it. You have to grow into the kind of person who's ready for it. Neville Goddard talked about this a lot. He said that when you set a goal, a new version of you is born in your mind. That version is the one who has what you want, but you're not that person yet. So the time between now and when it shows up, that's when you're becoming. Now, becoming doesn't always feel fast. It's not always exciting. Sometimes it feels like nothing's happening, but under the surface, a lot is going on. Think about this. If you plant a seed, do you sit there and yell at it to grow faster? Of course not. You water it, you give it sun, you trust that it's working even when you can't see it. It's the same with your goals. We're told to go after money by working more hours, getting a raise, or picking up extra jobs. That's the old way. It's the way of trading your time for money. But what if there's another way? What if becoming rich wasn't about doing more, but about thinking in a new way? Let me explain. A lot of people who win the lottery lose it all within just a few years. They go back to being broke. And it's not because they're dumb or careless, it's because their thinking didn't grow with their money. They didn't develop what some people call wealth consciousness. Wealth consciousness isn't about knowing how to save money or write checks. It's about believing that you are someone who can create and manage wealth. That belief changes how you make choices. It changes how you act. It even changes what kind of ideas you get. Let's say someone wins $1 million, but deep down, they still feel poor. They believe they don't deserve that kind of money, or they fear it will be taken away. So, what happens? That fear drives how they spend. They buy stuff to feel secure, or they give it away too fast, or they avoid looking at it altogether. The money disappears, and they say, "See, I knew it wouldn't last." Now, compare that to someone who builds their wealth slowly. They learn how to handle it. They get used to it. They start thinking like someone who has money, not just someone who wants it. And because they become that person, the money sticks around. So if you've been waiting on a big money goal and it hasn't come yet, it doesn't mean it's not working. It means you're still becoming. This is a powerful stage, even if it feels slow. Here's where things get tricky. Napoleon Hill, who wrote Think and Grow Rich, taught people to write down their goals and set a date. Now, that can be helpful to some. It gives you some sense of direction, but for others, it creates stress because as the date gets closer, if the money hasn't shown up yet, you might start to worry. That worry turns into doubt, and doubt pushes the money further away. Instead of focusing on the calendar, focus on the version of you that you're becoming. Ask yourself, how would someone who already has what I want think, act, and feel right now? Then start doing those things. Not from a place of pretending, but from a place of practice. It's like learning a new language. You don't speak it perfectly on day one, but if you keep practicing, you get better. And before you know it, you can speak without even thinking about it. Well, thinking works the same way. And here's something even more powerful. There's this thing called the law of gestation. It means everything has a natural time to grow. You can't rush it. You can't make it come faster just by wanting it more. The time is needed to prepare for everything, not just the result, but you too. Think about when a baby is growing. From the time a woman gets pregnant, we all understand it takes about 9 months before that baby is ready to be born. If you try to rush it, there could be problems. The baby might not be ready. It might not survive. And that's not something we argue with. It's just how nature works. Your goals are the same. That dream you have is growing inside you. Your job is not to force it, but to care for it, to keep showing up, to keep believing, to become the version of you who can hold it. And this is where faith comes in. Faith is not about pretending things are perfect. It's not about smiling when you're stressed. Faith is about holding on when you have no proof yet. It's about staying calm when your mind wants to panic. That kind of faith tells your future. I'm ready, even if I don't have it yet. The truth is, if money showed up today and you weren't ready for it, you'd lose it, just like those lottery winners. But if you become someone who is ready, it can show up any day and stay for good. That's the real work. So, how do we stop waiting and start becoming? That's where it gets really exciting because the moment you understand what's really holding you back, you can do something about it. And that's exactly what we'll dig into next. So now we know becoming rich isn't just about what's in your bank account, it's about what's in your mind. And here's where it gets real. If you keep doing what you've always done, you're going to keep getting what you've always gotten. Think about it. Most people are taught from a young age that the way to get money is to work more hours. You go to school, get a job, show up on time, and trade your hours for a paycheck. That's how the system is built. But let's ask a simple question. If working hard and trading time for money really made people rich, wouldn't most people be rich by now? They're not. They're tired and they're stuck. The problem isn't that they aren't trying hard enough. The problem is the way they think about money. If you believe money only comes when you work a certain number of hours, you put a cap on how much you can make. There are only so many hours in a day. So no matter how hard you work, you always hit a wall. This is why it's so important to build a different kind of mindset, a wealth mindset. A wealth mindset asks, how can I create something once that keeps paying me over and over again? Let's look at how rich people think. Most of them don't work 9 to 5 jobs, and they're not lucky either. They've learned how to use their energy in smarter ways. Instead of trading time for money, they build things once and let those things make money for them over and over. Books, online courses, real estate, stocks, digital products. They create value and share it, and that value keeps working even when they're not. This is called passive income. It doesn't mean you do nothing. It means you work once and that work keeps paying you back. Let me give you an example. Imagine you write a book. It takes you maybe 3 months to write it. You edit it, design a cover, and put it online. That's the work. But once it's done, it's done. You don't have to write it again. People can buy it day or night while you sleep, while you travel, even years later. That's income that keeps going. Now imagine you make a course. Same thing. You take what you know, record videos, put it online, and share it. People who need that knowledge can buy it anytime. You helped them. They paid you. Everyone wins. Now you've got 2 income streams. Next, maybe you get into real estate, or maybe you invest in stocks or digital assets. Each one brings in more income without taking up more hours. And here's the best part. Now you've got time, real time, time to think, time to rest, time to build the next idea. This is how real wealth works. And once you understand it, you stop looking at money as something you chase and start seeing it as something you attract. You don't beg for it. You become someone who creates value, shares it, and opens the door for money to flow in. But what if this idea feels far away? What if you were raised to believe money only comes one way, by showing up, clocking in, and doing what you're told? That's normal. A lot of people were taught the same thing. The good news is you can unlearn it. Wealth is a way of thinking, and thinking can change. Start simple. Ask yourself, what do I know that could help someone else? You don't need to be famous. You don't need a big office. You just need to start where you are. Maybe you're good at helping people get organized. Maybe you've been through something tough and came out stronger. Maybe you know how to teach kids to read, whatever it is. That's value. And someone out there is looking for it. Now ask, how can I share this once and let it keep working? Maybe that's a book. Maybe that's a video. Maybe it's a guide you sell online. The point is, you stop thinking about how many hours you can work and you start thinking about how many people you can help. The more people you can help, the more value you create. And the more value you create, the more money flows back to you. It doesn't mean you have to quit your job tomorrow, but it does mean you start seeing yourself differently. You start becoming the kind of person who builds things that last. Remember, this is not about getting rich quick. It's about building a path that works, a path that grows with you, a path that doesn't stop when you take a break. That's what wealthy people know. And it's something you can learn too. So, how do you take that first step? How do you go from the idea of wealth to actually seeing money come in? That's what we're going to explore next, because there's one more belief that keeps people stuck. And once you spot it, you'll never think about money the same way again. Now, let's talk about something that blocks people in a quiet way. So quiet, they don't even notice it. I'm talking about the old story that many of us carry deep inside. You know the one. It says money is hard to get. I'll never be rich, or people like me don't have wealth. These thoughts may not scream out loud, but they sit in the background, shaping your life when you're not watching. See, you can say affirmations all day long. You can put sticky notes with dollar signs on your mirror. But if the deep part of you doesn't believe that you are someone who has money, none of that will stick. It's like putting fresh paint on an old wall with mold under it. It might look good for a minute, but it won't last. This is why people go back to their old ways. Even after reading all the books and doing the vision boards, they didn't clean up the old story first. They kept trying to add something new on top of the old, but the old thoughts don't go away just because you ignore them. They stay until you see them, question them, and let them go. Now, that doesn't mean you need to go digging through your past for years. It just means you need to start paying attention. The next time you think about money, stop and ask yourself, what do I really believe about this? You might be shocked at what comes up. It might sound like your parents. It might sound like a teacher from long ago. It might even sound like someone you used to admire, but now realize was stuck in their own limits. The good news, you don't have to believe those things anymore. Just because a thought shows up doesn't mean it's true. Just because you've thought something for years doesn't mean it belongs in your life forever. We talked a bit about law of attraction, but there's another law that fits right beside it, the law of gestation. This is the law that says everything takes time to grow. A seed becomes a tree, but not overnight. A baby needs 9 months before it's ready to come into the world. If you try to make it happen faster, you're asking for trouble. Wealth is no different. You may have the idea, the picture in your head, the strong desire, and that's great. But the universe isn't just checking off boxes, it's watching who you're becoming. Are you growing into someone who can hold wealth? Not just touch it once and lose it, but really live with it day after day? That's where patience comes in. Not the kind where you sit on your hands and wait for a miracle, but the kind where you stay steady, even when nothing seems to be happening. You keep showing up, you keep focusing on the goal, you keep acting like someone who already has it, because the truth is, you're in training. And the more you act like someone who has it, the faster it comes. You ever notice how some people get exactly what they want, but then it slips away just as fast? That's what happens when they skip the growing part. You don't want to skip that part. That is the part where your real power comes from. So, how do you know you're on the right path, even if the money isn't here yet? You feel more steady. You don't panic when bills come. You start to think about how money works. You start to see more choices instead of dead ends. You think bigger. You imagine things that used to feel too far away. That's a sign your inner world is changing. And soon the outer one will catch up. Now, let's tie this back to wealth itself, because a lot of people have the dream, but they're still stuck in the same money system they learned as a kid. Work a job, trade time for money, go home tired, repeat. That system keeps you just busy enough to not think of other ways to grow. But think about this, people who build real wealth, they don't only work jobs, they build things, they create things that serve people. They sell those things over and over again. Books, courses, podcasts, trainings, services, even content like this. They don't rely on one paycheck. They build income that flows in from many places. And each new thing they build becomes another path that brings money to them. And the best part, once the work is done, they don't have to keep doing it forever. It works for them. But most folks don't believe that's possible for them. Why? Because they've been told you trade your hours for dollars and that's just the way it is. But guess what? That's not the way it has to be. You can build new paths. It just starts with a new belief. So, if you've been thinking money can only come one way, stop and ask yourself, what else is possible for me? You may not have the full answer yet, but asking the question is how you start moving. And if you're wondering, well, how do I even begin? Then you're already ahead of most, because asking that is how every new journey starts. But we're not done yet. In the next part, we'll look at the habits and thoughts that keep people locked into those old patterns and how to break out of them. Because the truth is, wealth isn't something you grab, it's something you grow into. And once you understand how to grow into it, there's no going back. Let's get into that next. Let me ask you something simple. If your money habits stayed exactly the same the next 5 years, where would you be? Would you feel more free or more stuck? It's an important question because most people are not living on purpose. They're living on repeat. Wake up, work, pay bills, sleep, repeat. But when you keep doing what you've always done, you keep getting what you've always gotten. Now, maybe after this episode, you'll start to feel a little different. Not because I said something magical, but because something inside you is waking up to the truth. And that truth is you're not stuck, you're growing. Right now, even if you can't see it yet, you're becoming someone who thinks different, feels different, and makes choices that open new doors. You're not rich yet, not because you failed, but because you're still becoming. And that's powerful. Here's what I want you to remember: wealth is not just about money, it's about freedom, it's about time, it's about knowing you don't have to trade hours just to survive. It's about creating things that keep giving long after you're done building them. And that starts with believing it's possible for you. Now, I know it can feel far away sometimes, but if you're still here listening, that means there's a part of you that already knows you're meant for more. You don't need to rush. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to stay steady and keep growing. Keep asking new questions. Keep showing up for your ideas. Keep taking those little steps, even when no one's watching, because every small move you make in the right direction adds up over time. And remember, just like we talked about earlier, a baby takes 9 months to grow. If you try to pull it out early, you don't get a miracle, you get trouble. So trust your timing. Don't compare your journey to someone else's. Just keep becoming the kind of person who handles wealth with peace and confidence. I'll leave you with this: your outer world will always match your inner world. So instead of asking, when will I be rich? Ask, who am I becoming right now? Thank you for spending this time with me. If this spoke to you, if this helped you see things in a new way, do me a favor, hit that like button, drop a comment to tell me what hit home for you, and make sure to subscribe. We've got more episodes coming your way, and I want you on this journey with me. Until next time, keep growing, keep becoming. Your abundance is on the way, and you're almost ready for it.